Hi everyone, thanks for joining another Ready to Ride Pilates for Horse Ride session. This is going to be a quick abs session. I'm going to go through all the exercises in two different formats. So we're going to do the easier level and also then a slightly harder version. So it doesn't matter who you are and what your Pilates experience is, you should find this session is good for you. I'm focusing just on abs today because sometimes it's nice to be really specific, and your abs are a really key muscle group for helping to link that nice, stable but independent seat to that strong but light upper body. So let's get going. We're going to start off with all the exercises are on your floor today. We're going to start off with the abdo crunch, which is a lovely straightforward exercise. If you've got a spiky ball on a flat surface, do use your spiky ball. This is a really good exercise to start with that. Feet and knees approximately hip width apart. Nice neutral level pelvis position. If you haven't got a spiky ball, just check with your hands. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. And then you're going to float your hands, reach for your toes, and lift your head so you look between your legs. And take everything back down together. So check knees and pelvic floor, float your hands, reach for your toes, and look between your legs. The key with your hands is not to be reaching up for your knees. That doesn't really help. You want to have that feeling of stretching downwards. That helps as you stretch your fingers down towards your toes. That helps to engage your abdominals really nicely. What you're looking for with this is to make sure it's just your upper and maybe your middle back that is doing the work, that you're not turning into a glorified sit-up and your whole body coming up off the floor. What you also want to be feeling is that you maintain a little bit of a gap maybe between your low back and your mat, so we're not imprinting like you would in the start of your shoulder bridge. So it's a very simple, very small exercise, but it's a great way of just waking up your abdominal muscles. Okay, we're going to move on to doing your hundreds exercise. So I'm going to do this in two different positions. This is another one, nice and straightforward, but we start to link in a little bit of upper body work. So again, start with thinking pelvic floor onto floor 3, neutral pelvis. Think about those ropes running from ribs to pelvis, and then you're going to pat that imaginary puddle of water on the floor beside you. And concentrate on keeping breathing, keeping your ropes active, and that pelvic floor onto floor 3. If you find this is a bit easy for you, then we can take your legs up into tabletop. So one at a time, legs up into tabletop, and then you repeat the same thing with pelvic floor, neutral pelvis, thinking about your ribs gently, or your ropes, anchoring your ribs downwards so you're watching, you're not flaring upwards. Making sure as you do those pats, whichever position you're in, that you move from the shoulder and it's not just fingers flapping or wrists flapping. This is about starting to engage your abs with a little bit of upper body work as well. So a little bit of multitasking, just like you would on the horse. So we'll do a few more of these. It says hundreds. I don't think anyone ever counts to 100, but it's a good number to aim for, I guess. Okay, so move my hands down and then one at a time, feet back down onto the floor. We're going to move on now to your scissors exercise. Again, I'm going to do this in two different ways, or maybe we could do it in three different ways. So if you've got a spiky ball, nice neutral position. Once again, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Activate those ropes from ribs to pelvis, and then moving from your hip, you're going to bring one leg up to tabletop and back down, and then the other leg up to tabletop and back down. Watching you always move from the hip, and what you're not doing is just bending through the knee. So you're moving from the hip. If that's a little bit easy and you want to go up into tabletop, absolutely fine. Again, think ropes, pelvic floor, neutral pelvis position, and you're going to move from the hip down and back up. So again, you're aiming for that nice 90-degree position at the knee to stay the whole time. So we're incorporating a bit of hip control here as well. We never ever really just work one muscle group on its own, but the abs part is thinking of those ropes, making sure that as your leg moves away, you don't arch upwards again through that mid part of your tummy. If you were on the horse, that would mean you'd be arching through your back and losing some of that control, some of that connection forward through your tummy. If that's a little bit easy, then you can do the level 3 version. So you're going to move both legs at the same time, still thinking tummy staying nice and still because of those ropes. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. And if you can, if you've got your spiky ball, great. Otherwise, use your hands just to check maybe that your headlights aren't rocking from side to side. So just do a few more of these, keeping that pelvic floor, and also not forget those breathing, make sure it keeps nice and relaxed. Okay, so one time, feet back down, have a little bit of a breather, and we're going to move on to the double leg stretch. Again, we can do this in whichever position you find most comfortable. We'll start off just with your legs and then we'll add in the arms. Okay, so again, your setup is the same. Think ropes, neutral pelvis, pelvic floor onto floor 3. You're going to slide one leg straight and back up, and then slide the other leg straight and back up. Now, if your feet are on the floor, you do really want to be sliding. It's a bit tricky. My mat's a little bit sticky and I'm on grass. It's not so easy to slide. So socks might be a little bit easier for this one. Okay, breather with the legs. For your hands, you're going to do the circling version. So we're going to do circles with your arms, and you want to link those circles with the movement of your leg. So you circle out as the leg straightens and circle in as the leg comes back up. Okay, then if that's a little bit easy, once again up into tabletop. So you're going to once again check you've got that neutral pelvis position, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and once again you are combining those movements, arms and legs moving together, but your ropes running from ribs to pelvis are making sure that your tummy doesn't move. Those ropes really are the analogy for your abdominals. So your abdominals are working to keep your upper body and your pelvis connected. Keep checking your pelvic floor and keep checking that you are breathing. Do one more with each leg. Okay, and then if your feet are up, one at a time, feet back down onto the floor, and we're going to turn onto your side for the last exercise. So we're going to go into the capital L position. Apologies for my hair, it's a bit windy here today. We're going to capital L position, so straight line from shoulders, hips to knees, knees bent to 90 degrees. If you get shoulder problems, maybe just do the arm part of this exercise to see how you get on. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then we're going to simultaneously lift your pelvis and take your arm above your head. Keeping the pelvic floor onto floor 3, and again making sure you are breathing. So what we're working on now is a bit more of your oblique muscles. These are the ones under here, and these are excellent muscles, particularly if you're jumping, and they're useful for all of us, but particularly if you're jumping. Okay, if this is easy, make it a little bit harder and have that top leg elevated, so you're having to use your abdominals just a little bit more but still being synchronized. And then if that's still a little bit easy, we can add in straightening through that top leg at the same time. So now you're synchronizing lift, arm and leg, still with the pelvic floor, still with the breathing. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Super job. Okay, let's whiz around it on the other side. And again, get your setup before you start. So you're wanting to have that straight line from shoulders, hips to knees, knees bent to 90 degrees, pelvic floor onto floor 3. And we'll start off just with the level 1 version. So lifting pelvis and taking your arm over your head, looking for synchronization. Make sure you're breathing. And then if you want to stick at that one, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll lift that top leg and just work those obliques a little bit harder. Of course, as I said before, we rarely, if ever, work one muscle group on its own. So you're doing a lot of glutes work with this one too. So we've done a lot of abs with hip control. Let's just make this a little bit harder still if you want. With all of these though, you only do the level that you are comfortable with. You still want that synchronization of lift, arm and leg all going together. That's mimicking, okay, maybe not this particular movement, but mimicking so much of what you do on the horse. Different body parts doing different things all at once. Last one. Good job. Okay, so we're going to finish there because I wanted this session to be nice and quick. If you want to do anything else, then choose one of the other sessions on this channel. They'll all merge together really well if you want to do that. But if you were short of time, this was a really good session for you to choose. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me, and take care, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.